All right, all right, all right. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna get you guys the stream right now. Let me just load this puppy up. What's up, y'all? What's up? It is a Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. We're gonna be going over a little bit of a recap for the day. And you know what? My camera looks a little bright. Let's go one click. How's that? Yeah, that looks a little better. All right, here we go. Let's go back here. Let me get you guys a link, send it in Discord chat, and we shall get going. Alrighty. And there's the link. Alright, I'm gonna wait for some of you guys to hop on before I just jump into it. Well, we are going to talk about our day today, where we're at, how we did for the week. We're still doing good. This week we're down. That's fine. For the month we're up. For the month we're way up. All the way up. What up? What's up, Isaiah? Good to see you, bro. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for jumping in. Wait for some of the other guys to jump in here. Feel free, if you guys want to start sending your questions, feel free to start sending those as well. This is going to be for you guys. This is all for you guys right here. So any questions you guys have, anything you want me to show you how to do, I will be more than happy to show you guys and to work with you. So first I'll probably start by recapping my day so we could go over that together. What up, 47? What it do? What it do? Good to see you, bro. Great to see you on here. Glad to see you guys. We're gonna kind of go over our trades today, what we did good. I also learned a couple things because I watched the video. I sent it to a few of you guys. So now we're gonna just zoom in on what we did today. A good trader always learns from his mistakes. So we are going to learn from our mistakes today. So let's just wait for a couple of the guys to get on. We are live. See you guys here. All right, cool. Perfect. All right, let me go through the Discord real quick. Let me close that. We'll start from the top. I know some guys had some questions. Okay, so let's start from the top. Thinkorswim, we'll go over that at the end. Tonight, boom. Couple questions. Rob has a couple questions. Awesome. You use the Robinhood chart. Yeah, so essentially the way that I chart my stuff is I actually use TradingView for my main chart, and then Robinhood will be my secondary chart. So I kind of double chart just because I need to chart on Robinhood either way because that's where I make my entries. So right here, as I open up TradingView, you could see all of our markings right here. So if I zoom in, we're on the 15-minute chart, and this first candle was the 15-minute. And then if we go down to like the 5-minute, technically that one candle didn't even bounce off that ORB. So now I'm already seeing, yeah, where I could have went wrong at. All good. Hey, you take some losses, man. You take some losses, you bounce back. Tomorrow we're gonna be patient. But yeah, so essentially I do like Robinhood's interface. Robinhood actually they've made a lot of updates, to be honest. To me, they've been really solid. Let's talk a little bit about Netflix though, dude. I mean, let's go over here. This was crazy to see this. It's down 9% right now. So I found out that the reason why, what is going on with these wicks? That is insane. The reason why Netflix dumped was because I believe was it their CEO? Yeah, the CEO is stepping down. So right after the market closed, they announced that he's stepping down. So that's why the market went into a frenzy with Netflix. So that's what I found out. That's a crazy headline to make it go that far down, to be honest. So, but yeah, I mean, let's go back to Netflix. Whew, if we were in calls, you know, it's funny. I almost thought about getting calls, not today, but you know, a while ago. But look at that one wick. That wasn't even in 5 minutes. That was a 5 minute candle. Yeah, a 5 minute candle. Let's see what happened on the 1 minute. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at all that. People just tanked it. That's crazy. All right, let's go to the questions. So when you refer to your system, what specific rules or criteria are you following for entries, exits, and risk management? Okay, so let's go over that from start to finish. So let's go to TradingView. So here's what I do at the beginning of every trade. I mark out the pre-market high and I mark out the pre-market low. So that's the beginning. So the pre-market high today did I, you know, I didn't even, that's wrong. This is yeah, that's supposed to be up here. Not that really mattered, but either way, pre-market high, pre-market low, that's the first thing that we mark out. The second thing I mark out is the way that I trade. I use what's called the 15-minute ORB strategy, 15-minute opening range breakout. Okay, a lot of people use it. A lot of people seek success with it. It normally has about a 70%, 70 to 80% win loss, which technically this week we've done amazing with it. We won Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We had 3 solid trades, probably even more, probably like 4 or 5 solid trades. We had our first loss today, and that's because we went to go for the ORB, and instead of bouncing, it actually rejected and it pushed up. So that's why you'll see the swing, which we'll get into in a second. So after I mark out my pre-market high, pre-market lows, now you're probably wondering what this white line is. This white line is called the VWAP, volume weighted average potential. That's exactly what I use. I don't need to do a bunch of indicators, all that stuff. I just use the VWAP and I go from there. So normally if it's trading under the VWAP, it's normally a good sign that you're gonna go into, you know, put options. If it's trading above, then you could do some calls and stuff like that. However, today Tesla was very choppy. Tesla, just looking back at this chart, this is an ugly chart. You could have caught one good swing, and this is where we got burned at. You could have caught one good swing up for a call option and then sold, and you would have been good for the day. But outside of this, there's no really crazy moves on Tesla. So going back to the charting, once we mark the pre-market high, pre-market low, the pre-market is everything that happens before 6:30 a.m. So anything from like midnight, from 12 to 6:30, so 6:29, that's all pre-market. So you want to mark that out. And then these purple lines, how it says ORB top, ORB low. What I do is I go down to my 15-minute candle. This first candle I do not trade. So the first 15 minutes, 6:30 to 6:45, I'm watching the charts. I'm seeing where it goes. ORB top. This is the top of the 15-minute candle. So that's marked right there. Same thing with the bottom. It's marked right there. Once I mark out my high and low, this is where I will go in and I will drop down to the 5-minute chart and I will look for an entry point. So this morning, this first candle, these first 2 candles, that's right, boom, boom, boom. These candles weren't doing much, but it wasn't a downtrend. This bounce, this orange one, this is a bounce from a previous day that I had, which technically it almost bounced off of it again. But I always have these bounces from other days because these bounces show me kind of like support, resistance, all those different things. So I mark out those as well. This green bounce is actually a bounce from, I think it was like a week ago. Let me see. Yeah, so April 8th, we had a bounce up top. So that was a resistance. So I marked it, and technically we bounced right off of that as well today. So let's zoom back in. So it's always good to have your charts like charted at least. Doesn't need to be a bunch of indicators, but you know, within the price range at least. So ORB low. Today we took the ORB opening range breakout. It did break out. So let's go to Robinhood because I marked my Robinhood chart. So as well, this is where I take my entries. So I have my charts in here as well. So let's go back to here. let's just go to 15 minutes real quick so I can mark that candle. And that was good. So you see these blue lines, it might be a little hard to see, but I'm gonna drop down to the 1 minute and 5 minute. So as we were trading live, essentially when it pushes past, we wait for a retest. We wait for the retest, which is what happened. It pushed down to 382, and then this next candle came up and it slightly touched at 383. So right now the 15-minute low was at 384, and it came to like 383.82, and then it started pushing down again. So right at that entry point is where we enter most of the times. So we entered there today. This candle hit and it dropped down. What is a retest? A retest is just a pullback. Basically, it's liquidating people. Like, people are getting in down here. It's liquidating people, and it's retesting, making sure that it could hold off of that and basically bounce. If we get a bounce, we're off to the races. In instances like today, we didn't get a bounce. And maybe I could say that maybe it could have been a little premeditated that we jumped in. Maybe we jumped in a little too early. Maybe next time, I think what I want to see is I want to see volume, because now I even look as my MACD. I didn't even realize my MACD was actually slowing down. So that's a whole nother. We didn't have a lot of seller volume today. We only had seller volume in the morning. So technically, I guess you could say that I got FOMO today, because I was like, yeah, I just got locked in on my chart. Like, oh my gosh, I'm waiting for the retest to win. But I did not look at my other indicators. I didn't look at the MACD. I do have the MACD. So I know that on TradingView I said I don't use MACD, but on Robinhood I do use it just so I could kind of see the RSI was coming back up. I didn't even notice the RSI. For me, I guess I was just hoping that, oh yeah, it's gonna hit, it's gonna bounce, and it's gonna take. That was my rookie mistake, and this is why you have your stop losses. We hit our stop loss. We went a little over our stop loss, but we hit our stop loss and we got out right away. So I know some of you guys don't hold your stop losses, but you need to hold your stop losses, because you're gonna keep getting burned big time. Unless you're in like a super small position, you're like, I really don't care about this. But for me, today I did a big position, so I think I had like 10 contracts. So that's where big risk, big reward. So that's what a retest is. Essentially, what we're just looking at is it pulls down here, it comes back up, and that's a retest. It's testing it, and today the retest failed because it slightly bounced, which is why we went up for a little bit, but then it crossed back over and then reversed and went the other way. So that's what a retest is. Now, Isaiah, to go over your other questions, specific rules, criteria. Yeah, I don't trade in the first 15 minutes. My entries, I already said that. Exits. So my exits I do based on a couple of different factors. Percentage, and also to where the flow is going. So if we're let's just say I buy up here and I see these two candles pushing down heavy, and then I start to see this candle push back up, I may sell because I have all this profit. So for me, I like to take profit anywhere from 15% to as much as 50%, even more if I hold it. I've been hitting a lot of 40% contracts recently. So what that means is 40% of what you put. So I think, let me see. Can I check? I don't think I could check on here, my statements. Yeah, I don't think I can. Let me see. Let me pull it up on my phone. So essentially, what I could do is, let me airdrop you this real quick. Airdrop onto my computer. Yeah, I'll show my loss and the win that I had. Hang tight. I'm gonna airdrop this right now. All right, it's coming through right now. There we are. Okay, so pull this up. This is from today. So this is actually my Roth account that I was trading in. I took 2 trades in my Roth. The first trade was a Tesla 375 put. That's the one we got burned on. So I had 15 contracts. It went down to 26. I lost $900 in that, right? Then I made another trade throughout the day, and I gained $500 back. So I was at a loss today in my Roth. Totally cool though, because this week in my Roth, I'm up to 2,600 still. So for me, with that much, I could risk losing $900. Now, of course, it stings because I'm like, man, instead of 30 $3,500. I'm down to $2,600. You know what I mean? So, but still, $2,600 for the month. That's already for me. That's already what's people's full time jobs. So, and that literally on the Discord, I started that or on the Roth. Those gains started to take place Wednesday of last week. So this is all literally within 7 days that I made 2,600 in my Roth. So again, when you're making that much, you'd afford to lose 900. Where I got hit was in my options account. This week I was up to 1,400, and now I'm at 1,100. So for the week I'm down 200. However, for the month I'm up 600. So that's a good sign. I made a lot of money, but I also lost. So I would have been for the month. I would have been at about $1,000 for the past month. But now I'm at 600. Totally okay. I need to take a little bit of smaller positions. How much did you start with in your Roth? So right now, yeah, I'll be transparent with you guys. Let me see. So I'll pull my Roth up. So on April 8th, which was last week, I had $4,000 in there. On April 8th, so I did make some dumb decisions. I tried to do some super risky ones a couple weeks ago, and I paid the price for it. So I think originally I put in $6,200 into my Roth. I put $6,200 into my Roth to start last year, and here's where my Roth, guys, I've already made back 10 times. I put in $6,200. I put it all into VOO, an ETF long term. I only made $600 for the whole year and a half. So it had came out to like 6,800, right? I was like, dude, bro, 6,800, I could make all this back in like a week. You know what I mean? So I tried to follow someone's trades. An influencer, I tried to follow their trades, and it didn't work out too well, and I paid the price. So I went from 6,400 down to 4,000. So I made a couple mistakes, dumb mistakes that I've absolutely learned from. But again, starting April 8th till now, I mean, I just hit 7,200. We took that loss, so now we're at 6,700. So literally in what's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 13, 14, where we at 15, 16. So literally in 8 days, guys, I've already made over like I said, like 2,600. So that's in my Roth. Now I think Robinhood's the only place I know that you could trade your Roth in. Now what I do is I trade my options account first, and I'll play the safe bet on my Roth. If I don't take the trade on my Roth, it's totally okay. I'm taking a safer bet, and obviously, like I said, I lost today. However, I will not rush trades in my Roth. I will just keep that slower, because I think I mentioned this to you guys as well. For me, I'm trying to buy a house, and you actually can pull out your Roth IRA to buy a house. So for me, if I could turn that into 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 in a couple months, I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I don't need to pull any of this money out. Like, I'm totally cool. So, but let's talk about risk management. So risk management is something that, I'm not gonna lie, I don't follow. And that's I would say, I mean, if you don't follow it, you're gonna take big losses. So I didn't follow that today, and I took a big loss. So risk management is essentially, you want to trade a certain portion of your portfolio. So let's talk about this. Since I have $1,000 in here, we started with $500, $545. Now we're at 1,000. Since I have $1,000, what a good risk ratio is, or risk management is, you only want to trade max maybe like 40% of your portfolio, or of what you have. So 40% of $1,000 would be $400. So now it's a little how do I say this? It's a little like it's a little hard to do that. It's a little hard to trade just $400. Now, if you start your account with $500 and you're like, I gotta do what I gotta do. Realistically, what I did just to get here, just to get to $1,000, I had to put up $500. I had to risk my whole portfolio, because The contracts, let's pull up a Monday, April 20th contract. Just one contract right now is trading. We have to keep going up for it to go lower, but let's just say we want a 390 Tesla call, which is pretty close. It's $5.30 times 100. That's $530. If you have $500 in your account, you can't even trade that. So that's where you, in the beginning, you are gonna have to risk, and you're gonna have to be heavy on your stop losses. So in order for you to save your capital, that's what I tell the guys all the time: save your capital, save your capital, save your capital. Is have your stop losses. For me, my stop loss is anywhere from 10% if I see that it's slamming down to 20%. Now I normally range in the 15%. Today it hit about 21%. Yeah, so that's what risk management is. For me, like I said, I don't really follow that, especially today. How do you set up a stop loss? You could do it manually, but for me, as soon as you guys know I trade on my phone, as soon as I see on my phone that it hits the stop loss, I sell at asking price. I don't sell at bid price. That's why if you sell at bid, you're technically bidding, and there's no guarantee that you're gonna get that sale. So that's why you've probably noticed, oh man, I set my stop loss to sell and it didn't go through. That's because you sold it at bid. You gotta sell it at the asking price. So for me, as soon as I see it, I just set the number, I swipe up. Honestly, like let's just say like this morning, it hit 20%. I said, okay, I'm out. I didn't even set it. I just swiped it at asking price. Sold. Filled me right away. That's how you get out. That's how you get out right away. It's okay to lose a couple more dollars, for me at least, to just sell it at the asking price, because there's been many times I've tried to, and I know I've already heard from you guys, I tried to sell it, but it kept going down. That's because you try to sell it at bid price. You want to sell it at asking price. If you're already losing, you're already losing. Sell it at the ask, get yourself out of the trade, move on with your day, and keep going. So I will say, when it comes to risk management, going back to that question, is you are able to take more trades throughout the day if you don't use as big position sizes. So you could work your way back. The reason why I couldn't work my way back today in my options account, I worked my way back in the Roth account, but the reason why I couldn't work my way back in the options account was because I used all $1,000 of what I had in there. So I pretty much risked 100% my portfolio. So that's why I only have I think it was only $12 I could use left. Now I can't really get anything for $12. So with my Roth, I only used half that position with that Tesla trade. So I only used, I think out of $7,000, I only used like $3,000. So outside of when I lost, I still had $3,000 extra to play with, and that's when I bought the ASML trade. We made 500 back. I could have kept going, but by that time I was already tired and done with the stock market. For me, I'm like let's get in, let's get out. I don't want to be here all day sitting on the charts. Realistically, excuse me. Realistically, I only like to trade from 6:30 to 8:30. After that, I kind of get fatigued just sitting in front of my computer the whole time, because also too, I gotta start getting ready for work. You know what I mean? Too, just I gotta get to church. So, I want to make sure I have some time to do that. So, that's kind of where I'm at. With Tesla. Let's see. Spy hit some good stuff today. Let's look at some Spy. Spy honestly didn't really move. It moved, but it didn't move. It moved up. It had a good spike up. If you would have got it around 7 o'clock, all the way up to 9 o'clock, that would have been a good move. And it's the reason why I wanted to come back and look at the charts is because when we're live, you don't obviously have these, so you don't know where the stock is going. So that's why when you're locked in, and you're like, okay, I need to figure this out. So if we're looking at the ORB model, we potentially could have gotten burned again here, although we probably could have made it a decent trade because that looks like a pretty big wick. What I would have looked for is a retest and then enter for a put and maybe sold here. And then it could have maybe flipped and we could have gone long for a call. So those are just, a couple of different things, but hopefully that helped you guys. Isaiah and 47, with the stop loss and the risk management and all that stuff. I know Rob, are you on here? I know you said you had some questions for me, so go ahead and fire them off. I'm just gonna take my hoodie off real quick. Give me one quick second. Let me switch over to the chart. Let me just take my hoodie off. Feel free to put some more questions in the chat. I'm still here, guys. I'm just changing my hoodie. Getting a little hot. Getting a little hot in here. All right. All right, here we are. 6 people watching. So, again, feel free to throw your guys' questions in. I'm here to answer them, and kind of go from there. So, let's go over kind of like a game plan for tomorrow. So tomorrow, I did find out that tomorrow a lot of the futures contracts are expiring tomorrow. So a lot of the big money is looking at if they're going to close those positions or roll them over into the next couple months. So, with that being said. What mistakes did you make early on that cost you money? What rules do you never break? What mistakes? Some of the mistakes I did, I entered too early. So FOMO, that I talk about that a lot, but I'm a big guy on FOMO because I used to get huge FOMO. I used to be like, oh my gosh, it's in a downtrend. I need to keep going with it. And then I would go with it, and then it would reverse. I didn't know anything about liquidity sweeps. I didn't know anything about bounces, about rejections. I just jumped in and I was like, let me just hope for it. So, jumping in too early. So timing is everything. And then also too, one of the mistakes I talked about was when it hits my stop loss. This happens to a lot of traders. It happened to me. Oh, it's gonna turn. It's gonna turn in my favor. It's gonna turn in my favor. And it doesn't. It doesn't hit. And I've talked to a couple of you guys already. As well as you told the same thing to where it's like, yeah, no, it's gonna go back up, and it doesn't, and now you're down 80%, 60%. So that's another one is when it hits your stop loss, our stop loss is made, and we mark our stop loss for a reason. So we need to follow our stop loss, and I'm the biggest advocate. I need to follow my stop loss because I almost didn't follow it today, and it would have cost me even more. You need to be okay with losing. If you're not okay with losing, once you hit your stop loss, move on. You either get into a different trade, and that's a whole separate conversation. Don't revenge trade. You want to make sure that you're still level-headed, because what can also happen is that dopamine hit can hit, and you're pissed off, and you're like, man, I lost. I need to get another trade because I need to make this money back. Now you're already going. Your mind's already going. You're just thinking about, what do I need to do? You're in survival mode. And at that point, when you make a trade in survival mode, you're not doing it rationally thinking. So that's a big thing is don't revenge trade. It's always good to work to get other trades that fit your criteria to go back into, and if it fits, it fits. If it works, it'll go great. But you need to make sure you're in the right mental space to do that before. You don't want to make sure you're emotional. I just need to get my money back. Oh my gosh, I lost so much. Just be smart, be patient, be diligent. And I tell the guys all the time, if you take a loss, shake it off. There's gonna be another day. Tomorrow's a brand new day. Okay, you can make it all back in one day, in one trade. So. Losses happen to the best of them. They happen to the hedge funds. They happen to the big guys. If they're going to take losses, you best believe we're definitely going to be taking losses as well. We just have to think smarter. We have to think harder. And again, like I said, Monday through Wednesday, we had 3 to 4 great trades, and we only had 1 loss today. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with taking 1 loss a week. Now we just have to do better with hitting our stop loss. Once we hit our stop loss, then we're out. So one loss so far, I could live with that. Now, we did have a little hiccup where some of the guys did take losses yesterday, unfortunately. Do you review the charts the day before, or do you analyze them all the same day? Honestly, I analyze them the same day because for me, charting's easy. Like, I don't need to spend too much time. I'm gonna be honest. So I start the streams at 6:30. Part of the reason why I don't trade in the first 15 minutes is because I spend the first 5 to 10 minutes charting during that time too. So, I mean, if you watch my trades, I'm literally charting with you guys as I go. So I'll chart from trade every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to about 8:30. I don't really want to go on any further than that. You could go further than that. There is definitely trades to be made. For instance, my ASML trade that I did today, that I made back some good money on, was this little jump right here. So I noticed that ASML was coming. Back up. There we go. I noticed that ASML was coming up to a resistance zone right here, and it had already bounced. So I wanted to see if I could wait for this bounce somewhere, and it did bounce. So I got into a call option. So I got it here, which was actually, it was a really good trade. Oops. I went long. And it was a quick trade and I was out. So I literally sold that. Let's zoom in. And that trade I took was at 11:30. Oh no, that's the wrong one. It's over here. This is my trade right here. And I was out. So that was my trade for ASML, and that swing was a lot of money. It was about $500, but yeah, Monday through Friday, and that was at 9:45. So I was at work. I was at work already, and I seen the charts, and I looked at the charts on my phone, and I was like, you know what? I need to get in. So we got in. Let's go back to Tesla. So reviewing the charts, 6:30 a.m. I'm not sure if you were here in the beginning, Vic, but essentially what I mark out is I mark out the pre-market highs. This is everything that happens between 12 to 6:30 a.m. The highs, the lows, and then what I do, the way that I trade is the first 15-minute candle, I mark out the ORB top and the ORB low. So in that first 15 minutes, this first candle swung from 394 to 386. So I don't trade the chop. I trade the breakouts. So we did break out, and this is where I told the guys earlier I might have pre-jumped into this because it didn't technically bounce the way that I wanted to. I think it was more of a FOMO. Excuse me. And essentially I went for shorts, so I went to do puts. We went up, but then it spiked the other way, and it went back into the ORB, and it never broke. So at this point, technically this should have been we shouldn't have traded in this. It could have been untradeable today. That's why we need to have other stocks on our list that we can go to. SPY did break out, I believe, of the ORB. Yeah, and then it broke out to the top. So that's kind of like my trading strategy, I guess you could say. But as far as analyzing them all the same day, I do that. I don't really analyze them the night before because realistically, there's not a lot going on. I do have this right here that I could see the London and Asia session, Tokyo as well, and this shows me the New York session. So I don't really use that. I don't really use that at all. This is where, though, I should probably use some of these charts. I should probably look at the MACD a little more, because if I would have looked at this MACD, I could have known that it was going to bounce instead of getting into it. So that could have helped. So yeah, so that hopefully that helps you guys right there. Any other questions you guys got? We'll start going over Charles Schwab in a little bit, so I can help you guys with that. And I'm getting pretty hungry too. I read something about Fridays and third Fridays being bad trading day. Yeah. So honestly, we learned this last Friday. Fridays in general, guys. Fridays in general are bad to trade. Fridays, they're bloody. The market just is all over the place. Sometimes it's just chop. A lot of the times, the reason why people don't like trading on Friday is because you have the weekend behind it. So long traders, it doesn't make sense for them, because what happens with contracts actually have what's called time decay. So with time decay, which is theta, time decay, what happens is every day a contract loses its power. It loses the value. So if you were to buy a contract on a Friday, you have Saturday and Sunday of no trading. You can't touch it at all. It makes no sense for you to lose 2 days of time decay to a contract. Now, if you're in a super long contract, months out, you're just going to have to deal with it. But that's why people like to buy Monday, because they can hold it Monday through Friday, or Monday through Wednesday, or Tuesday through Thursday. You know, like, people like to hold that. Now, the reason why this why this Friday tomorrow is so important, like I mentioned earlier, to go off your question, 47. The third Fridays, it's only every once in a while. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because we have future contracts that are expiring tomorrow. Future contracts are a lot longer, and future contracts are a lot more. So essentially, it's like an options contract on steroids. So the hedge funds and the big money guys, a lot of people, their contracts are expiring tomorrow. So they either have to roll that into the next month or purchase out their contract, take the profit, or sell what they have, and then buy into a next one next week. So that's why tomorrow is so important. Tomorrow is going to be a very, very crazy day, because if we get a huge sell-off, we're going to see the markets take a dip. If we don't, and we just see a lot of people rolling over, it could stay, choppy. But tomorrow, I may not even take a trade. If it does not hit our criteria, let's not try to force a trade tomorrow. If for some reason we're like, this trade is beautiful and we know for sure we're going to make money on it, that's where I'll say we'll probably take it tomorrow. Because again, we came off a loss today. What I don't want to happen is take 2 losses going into the weekend. Now our weekend's ruined. You know what I mean? So tomorrow might just be a reset day. Let's see. Let's chill. Pause the brakes. We may not even trade the ORB. If it bounces and it goes and we're like, okay, this is a clean setup, 100%. If we could catch some of SPY, maybe we'll trade SPY tomorrow because it's a lot cheaper for the contracts. Maybe we'll only trade SPY tomorrow. We'll kind of go from there. So let me see questions. Yeah, I answered the Friday one. What are the tools in TradingView that us beginners should get familiar with? All right, let's do this. So we're going to, which one can I mess with? Yeah, let's mess with this one because I don't really use it. Okay, so don't worry about the color, but essentially what you need to get, so at TradingView, what you need to look for, your indicators, you want to have your VWAP up, VWAP. You want to make sure your VWAP is there. And I'll send you guys some videos on the settings, or actually let me just pull up my settings right now. One second. So my VWAP settings, we're going to make sure it's on high and low, C3, okay. We're going to make sure that the bands and multiplier, we just want one band. Yep, one band. We want to make sure, yep, chart, boom, style. Let's go to style. VWAP, one line. I like to do it white. We don't need these upper and lowers. Well, technically, you might be able to. It's just the same. It's just lower. Let's do this. Let's put it white. And you can make it whatever you want. You can make it as thick as you want. You could do, cross. You could do circles if you want. For me, I just do the line. The thickness, you can make it thick if you want. Totally fine. We don't need that. Okay, let's see what else we got over here. Okay, visibility. We're going to go minutes and hours. Take off seconds, take off days, take off weeks, take off months, ranges. It's just going to be minutes and hours. And that's it. That's really the only one that I use. Now, if you did want to, you could add what's called a EMA. Which one? Or let's do simple moving average, SMA. So you have a simple moving average. This just kind of helps with, showing you where everything is moving. A lot of people use SMA and EMA. I don't really use those. But we'll kind of, that's fine. Okay. That's actually pretty helpful. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Tools in TradingView. Another thing is too, you also see this toolbar here on the left hand side. So let's take this off. Let's go to here actually, because we don't need all that. Let's go to this one. Okay, right here, this is going to be your trend line tools, your horizontal lines. I use horizontal lines. I click it and then I click where I want it, and then I can move it wherever I want. So let's say I want to mark this bounce point right there, mark that, so on and so forth. So that would be realistically. That's only the only things I use on TradingView. Realistically, is just the horizontal lines and the VWAP. That's it. Nothing crazy. Same thing on Robinhood. Robinhood, I do have it set up with the MACD and the RSI. RSI is cool to keep in there. Outside of that, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I still use my markers, my horizontal lines as well. And the SPY saw a big pullback. Now that we're looking at it, I mean, technically, guys, and this is going to take a lot more time, but technically we could just wait until each chart hits the very top or the very bottom and then just trade off that. Hit those big swings back, because eventually it's going to do that. So about the ORB, so we're waiting for the breakout before we make the trade. Yes, for sure waiting for the breakout. And if today we just made an unfortunate trade, all good. This is why you have your stop losses. And tomorrow, again, we have no idea where the market's going to go tomorrow. So let's just see what happens. Let me know how many of you guys are using Charles Schwab, Thinkorswim. How many of you guys are using Thinkorswim right now? I don't know if Nathan's on there, because I know I did want to do a Thinkorswim thing for him. So when you have a chance, yes. Okay, perfect. All right, perfect. Good thing I asked. So let's go over that right now. So for most of you guys, you want to go to Charles Schwab, make your account, all that fun stuff. And then essentially what you're going to do, you're not actually going to trade in Charles Schwab. You're actually going to go to Thinkorswim. And you're going to go to the web login. And then we're going to log in. Okay. Now, it is easier on the phone. So, well, I mean, I guess it's technically the same. So this is the interface right here. I only have 9 cents in there because I don't use that. I only have 9 cents. So let me know when you guys can you guys see that? You guys ready? You guys, if you want, you can load it up on your own as well. But this is what it looks like. This is where if you are going to trade your actual money, you'll throw it in here. There's this thing right here called paper money. Click on paper money. It's going to take you into a simulated trading. Now, it is trading off the actual market, so this is real, except you're just using fake dollars, okay? So it gives you 200,000. I have 192 because this is when I was learning. This is what I learned how to trade on, essentially, before I put in my own money. So you should have 200,000 right here. Up here it says find a symbol. Just type in the symbol. For me, we trade Tesla. It'll pull up any active positions, and it'll pull up Tesla. So when you guys get here, when you guys are following my trades, you guys will see this is the chart down here. This is the chart down here. Now, if you need to make it bigger, you can make it bigger. I don't like the chart on here. That's why I use a trading view. This one's too small anyways. I haven't found out a way how to make it bigger. I mean, I'm sure you can, but yeah, that's just, I just don't like it. Okay, so let's talk about options. So when you're in an option, okay, you'll see right here, if I'm at Tesla, option chain right here, option trade, covered stock, vertical, iron condor, all that stuff, strategy. That's your strategy. Okay, you want to click on options chain and open it. See how this opens right here? Okay, I'm gonna wait for it to catch up until I see it on YouTube. There we go, options right there, option chain right here. Then you'll have the dates. For us, we trade 0 DTE. So if there is no 0 DTE, then we do 1 day. Okay. So this is saying 1 day because it's April 17th. Technically, we're not open. So tomorrow it will be a 0 DTE for us. So on the left-hand side, you have the calls. On the right-hand side, you have the puts. Okay. And here's what I was talking about earlier: the bid and the ask price. Okay. The bid, think of it like buying a house. In the process of buying a house, you have a seller, which they're listing at ask price. In the buying home process, you also have a buyer. They're trying to get it cheaper. So that's the bid price. So for instance, if a seller is selling his house for $1 million, that is the asking price. Now a buyer can come in and bid for that house at $950,000. Now they have to make a negotiation. Now depending on the stock, if the stock is hot and they put it for $1 million, they're probably not going to get it for $950,000. They're probably going to have to jump up to $1 million to buy it because the stock may continue to rise. Same thing if it's going down. If it's in a downtrend and they're marking it for $1 million and you're bidding at $950, technically you buy it at $950, it still could drop to like $900,000. That's where they'll probably sell it at bid price. You'll get filled. The same thing on the flip side. As a seller, you could do a bid, you could do an ask. However, when the market does not go in your favor, you're gonna have to do it at asking price. So that's just a quick thing. This right here, this line in the middle of everything is showing you where the stock is currently trading at. So right now it's at 386. So it's in between 385 and 387. So it's trading in the middle of that. Everything below the strike price is in the money. Everything outside of it is out of the money. So in the money just means that you're trading the contract that's inside of the actual profit of how much it's trading for. Now, when you're doing a call option, like the videos I sent you guys, a call option is when it's going up. A put option is when it's going down. You're basically shorting. So let's just say we want to buy a call option. Let's just say I call out in the morning. I'm like, and it's at 386. It hit all of our parameters. It's going to bounce and it's going to go up. I think it's going to go up to 395. Or let's just say 390. Okay. What I would do is I would buy a 390 call. You have a bid and you have an ask. Someone's bidding at 325. Someone's asking 330. Okay. I'll probably throw in a bid. You'll come up over here. It's not set yet. You want to buy however many contracts. You could buy 1, you could buy 10, you could buy 100, you could buy 1,000. Let's just say for the sake of us being in here, we're just going to buy, so it's $3 a contract. Let's just say we're going to buy 2 contracts. 390 call. We want to do a call because it's going to go up. Right now the bid is at 325. We could either buy it and get filled at 330 or bid and wait until 325. Okay. Then when you're ready, you hit review. And then if you're ready, it's going to show you. So what this is going to take is $660. Okay. Because you're doing $3.25 times 100 times 2. So that's how much capital you're going to need, $600 for that, excuse me. Then you hit send and it sends. Okay. Now it's not going to take it because the market's not open, but you'll see it over here. You see right here, it says working. Once it gets filled, it goes into this filled category and you're filled and you're good. Now you have an open position. Same thing is when you sell. It's going to be over here and you're going to either put an asking price or a bid and you're going to sell it. So I can't show you what a sell is because we don't have an open position. But if you just want to mess around buying stock, technically you could buy. I think the market's still open. If I wanted to buy 100 stocks of Tesla right now, let's see if we get filled. Is it still going? It might be closed. Let me see. Let's cancel it. Let's go. Let's buy it at bid. We're gonna buy 100 so I can show you guys what it looks like. Oh no, that was the bid price. Sorry guys. Here we go. Let's just do it. Let's see if it'll take us. Did I do it wrong? I don't think. I mean, the market's honestly kind of. Let me see. Extended. Yeah, that's what we want. That's okay. But essentially, if someone accepts it, they'll accept it. I don't know why it's not working. Let's just cancel those. But that's what you would do if you want to buy regular stocks. You can. That's like if you just want to mess around with it. But essentially, that's how you use Schwab. So let's just say we do SPY. Type in SPY, open it up, go to the options chain right here, right? If you want to work off of TradingView and then go over here and make your trades, that's all it is. You're going to your options trade. But you have, so some of the mistakes, going back to Isaiah, some of the mistakes that I made, if you're going to use Schwab as your account, even when you're done sim trading, over here, sometimes if you click something, it doesn't translate to what you want to do. So you have to physically say, okay, I don't want to sell because I don't have anything to sell. I want to buy 10 contracts. Then you want to make sure you buy the right one. I actually want to buy a put option instead of a call. So again, that's where you just, those are some mistakes that you could, keep yourself from. So that's Charles Schwab. That's Charles Schwab for everyone. Super easy, super simple. Paper money. You guys are trading fake cash. For me, I use Robinhood because I'm trading real cash. So there's many different brokers, to each their own. Robinhood's just what I use. So any other questions? I know it's approaching 9:30 right now. I know I said I was gonna be done at 9:30, but any other questions before we start to wrap up? Because we've been on here for about an hour already. Yeah, so sweet. So I think we'll call it in and out at an hour exactly. But feel free to ask the questions you guys need. In the mornings, trading goes quick. So if you're gonna follow with me, there's times where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get this contract at this, and this. And then I'll let you know though that, hey, I'm putting a bid, or I'm gonna just jump straight in. I will let you guys know that, but in the morning it'll move quick, because for me, I like to get in and get out, make my profit. Today I did make a mistake because it hit my 15% ratio, but for me this week has been nothing but gains. So I won't lie, I was like, let's keep it going. I want that 40%, 50% gain. Let's go. Let's keep it going. I should have took profit at 15% because I saw it start to trickle down. I was like, no, it's gonna keep hitting. That's where, like I said, FOMO. So have your take profits. If it hits your take profit, don't be scared to take it. Yeah, shout out Isaiah. I'll leave this on my channel that you guys can go back and rewatch it as much as you guys want, so we can kind of go from there. And then, like I said, guys, 6:30 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday. I am on live doing my trades, and if you're unable to make the trades by yourself, you're more than welcome to follow. You just listen and you follow. You have your strike price, everything set. You just make sure that you follow right along. But I normally don't take my trades until anywhere from 7:30 to 8, because we wait for it to break, and then we jump in. So that's pretty much it, fellas. Any last minute questions? We're about to hop off right now. Any last minute questions in the next 30 seconds before I jump off? If you guys are good, I'm gonna head out. You guys all good? All good? Look, I can see you guys. I can see you guys in the chat. All right. I think we're all good then. All right, fellas. Well, you guys have a good night. We'll talk soon, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Let's get ready to get after it. So, peace out, guys.